Joining us now are John Jastremski and Keith Irizarry. It has been a dozen years since the Mets committed 6 errors in a game. So, Keith, how do you explain what we're seeing from the Mets in the field?
Scary is one of the words I would use. I know embarrassing is something that we heard as well. Listen, when you look at this defense, you're going, all right, Lindor, Gold Glove, Semien, Gold Glove, Bichette, he's solid. Vientos maybe learning the position, but hopefully going to figure it out. And all of these guys are booting easy plays. And again, I know that Semien said, it was a bad night. And it was a really bad night.
Okay, you went with scary and embarrassing. I'll add to it. How about shameful? This was shameful. The Mets had 6 errors in this game. There's an argument to be made. They should have made 8 or 9 errors in this particular matchup with the Chicago Cubs. And here's the problem you run into. This organization, the entire offseason, preached the narrative, Eamon, as you said at the start of the show, of run prevention. This was supposed to be a more buttoned-up team. This was supposed to be a better defensive team, and they're kicking the ball around, making fools of themselves. And to add insult to injury, you have the Citi Field faithful rightfully chanting in the 9th inning after 6 errors in this game, Pete Alonso, who's not here kicking balls around at first base. Can't blame it on Pete anymore. Can't blame it on Jeff McNeil anymore. They clearly missed Pete Alonso. That's obvious. But for something that was supposed to be addressed and for something that was supposed to be a strength for this team, this is a strength? 6 errors? You want to call that a strength? I don't think so.
Total weakness. And I'm going to say, if they're chanting Pete Alonso in June, just wait till he steps in for that first at-bat when he comes here with the Orioles in September. But, fellas, this is not a one-night one-off for this club. And we heard Gary Cohen mention during the broadcast how a game like this changes the reevaluation of the team and the roster. So, JJ, what type of ramifications should there be here?
How can it not? How can it not? It is the low water mark of the season. They have now lost 5 consecutive games. The double-digit games under the 500 mark. Look, Carlos Mendoza is a good man. Carlos Mendoza knows baseball. It's not all on Carlos Mendoza. Sooner or later, you reach a point if you're Steve Cohen. You're spending $1 gazillion on this team. Where's the accountability? Whether that is changing a manager, whether that is DFAing Kodai Senga, whatever it might be, the product on the field for one of the highest payrolls in all of baseball after having one of the worst collapses in the history of baseball over 3 and 3.5 months is a complete joke. So if I ran the team, Keith, something is changing on Thursday.
Senga to the bullpen was something that they started with. Okay, fantastic. Listen, you started your career in sports talk radio. I've spent 20 years in my career doing a lot of sports talk radio as well. And Michelle, you and I talked before the show. I don't call for people's jobs. It's not something I like to do. People have families and lives and all that kind of stuff. But if you read between the lines, there needs to be changes, like he said. Something needs to change.
Yeah, I really feel like this front office and the people in charge are just drinking from a fire hydrant right now. There's just so much going on day to day, making decisions and roster moves that, bigger stuff may come. We don't know.
Did you say something about roster moves? Because Kodai Senga might still be a Met, but David Peterson is not. Late night breaking news. Reportedly, Peterson is on his way to Chicago. Actually, he just has to go to the visitors clubhouse on Thursday and join the Cubs. The Southpaw was the longest tenured Met before the move. He had a 6.09 ERA this season in 16 appearances. The Mets received back an infield prospect. So, fellas, we mentioned moves coming, but Peterson, obviously a disappointment. So, JJ, what's your reaction to this news?
Well, I'm not surprised. When things are going as poorly as they've been going for the New York Mets, all options become, dare I say, on the table. And now the longest tenured Met, and let's just think about the transformation, not in a good way, of David Peterson. He has that brilliant 2024 postseason where he's in the middle of everything. He's getting big outs. He's closing out the series against the Milwaukee Brewers. He's getting big spots for Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, and he's getting them out in postseason series. He makes the All-Star team in the first half of 25 and completely falls off a cliff in the second half of the year. And this year, they've tried everything, Keith, to get this guy going. Openers, pulling him from the rotation, putting him back into the rotation, and they can't find that same magic. The Chicago Cubs are going to hope that better infield defense, maybe some better luck, is going to turn his season around. But I can't say I'm stunned the Mets are making a change.
No, Peterson, a guy I like, by the way, and I root for him, and hopefully he does well with Chicago. I think there are 2 ways that you dissect this. On one hand, you go, Peterson has been bad, let's just get rid of him. The other side of this Is it the beginning of lots of movement? You know, we've heard the rumbles about if Freddie Peralta was someone that you want to just get out of right away. You wonder about A.J. Minter maybe. How about even, guys, Bo Bichette, the contract he signed is basically a new contract every single year. It's a bunch of 1 years. Is there some playoff team out there that is going to be clamoring to bring in a Bo Bichette that could take them over the top? I just think that there are two ways to look at this. Peterson gone, okay, or is this the beginning of the dominoes falling?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Is there anything else coming? What do you think?
Well, you have to look at some of the guys who are on these one-year contracts. Freddie Peralta, who has not pitched great, but the Mets go and give up 2 top 100 prospects to go and get him. You have to imagine the Mets are not giving him a big contract at the end of the year. He's somebody that could be on the move. Bichette's interesting because is a team going to go and pick up that option knowing he's going to go and take $40-something million? But guys who are on one-year deals, Michelle and Eamon, those are the guys to watch because this team's floundering. Therefore, change is going to happen.
By the way, trades like this are so weird when they just go straight across the field to the other club.
Easy access.
I hate those kind of trades.